Welcome to my channel. In this video we will practice what we call flying a traffic pattern. So what is a traffic pattern? As you can see here on the map, this is the airport, and we will come here and depart from runway 30. A flight pattern is the following. Airports need to regulate the traffic around the airport, and the way they do that, they have something called traffic pattern. A traffic pattern is a kind of a triangle where if you take off from here, you can fly this way, and if you want to come back and land, you can fly this, and this is called departure, and then you turn left, and this is called crosswind. Why crosswind? Because you are theoretically supposed to take off against the wind. So this is called here crosswind. So this is the first one, is departure, crosswind, and then you come back here, it's referred to as downwind, and then you fly until from the aircraft you see the airport, the beginning of it, as 45 degrees. So when you are here, you turn left, and this is called what? The base. And then you turn left, and then you land. Or you may do, you may go straight, or because you may have some touchdown, touch and go, or you may have a missed approach. All right, so I will repeat. So you take off from here, and a pattern is a triangle, and this is the left pattern. You can do a right pattern, but most patterns, they do them as left. But anyway, I think the idea is clear to you. So you take off from here, and the important element is precision, so as we are gonna see. So again, I will repeat the names of the pattern, 4 legs. So you take off, this first one is called departure, and then you climb to 500 feet minimum, and then you start to turn left. This is for safety, and continue to climb. And then what we call this crosswind, and when you finish the crosswind, the altitude is supposed to be around 1,000 feet. And then you are supposed to come back and land. So if you are coming back in here, so you try to lower the speed, and then you fly here maximum 80 knots, elevation or altitude 1,000 feet. And if you are planning to land in here, you put 1 flaps level down, and then you start to lower the speed and control the elevation by lowering the elevation slightly. And then when you are 45 degrees, as we mentioned, you turn left, you come this way. And when you are in here, you turn left again. And the best altitude when you are in here is you are around 500 feet, but not lower, huh? 500 to 600 feet. So again, what do we call this? It's the flight pattern around the airport. Now, why this is important? It's not only important because we are practicing doing it manually right now, is assume you are coming from far away and you want to land. If you are coming this way, okay, or like this way, you don't just, how do you come and land? You don't just come like this way, and you come, join the pattern, and then you join it this way at 45 degrees, and then you come here, and then you land. So again, from anywhere, if you are departing or you are coming to land, when you arrive to the airport, you join a pattern. And when you are departing, you want to leave, you will leave a pattern. Example, you notice here when we used to take off and depart from here, we can depart, and if you want to go straight, we can just go straight. But if you want to leave to the left, we can go crosswind and then leave from here. Or we can do the crosswind and then downwind. In the middle of the downwind, we may go 45 degrees this way. So it depends on our direction, how we want to leave the airport. We fly the pattern and then we leave. So this is how aircrafts normally behave around the airport or the runway. Why they do that? Again, to control the elevation of the aircrafts and the traffic. Great. So this is why an aircraft coming over the airport flying this way, they will always be above 1,000 feet, because again, patterns are driven are float maximum 1,000 feet. And if you are coming with the intention to land, you start from here, which is called the downwind. You start to lower the altitude as a preparation stage for landing. Now, once you practice it, you will notice then in this case, landing becomes very easy. I don't want to say very easy, but it becomes much easier. So now what we will do in this exercise, we will take off from runway 30, do a pattern. So we will go left from here, fly the, the crosswind, fly the downwind, fly the base, come in here and land. So we will do it one time. It depends how it goes. Okay, if you want, maybe you can do it one more time, but I think one time should give you a clear idea about how a pattern is flown. Great. Now I think click this one in here, which makes this one have a trail to follow the aircraft using this software. But I will not forget to shift to the screen of the aircraft as I usually do. I forget. So now let's take off from the right and fly the pattern. Now again, I don't want to remind you, this is the flaps. So when we raise the flaps one level, it will be like this. Now I put them down, and again these are the flaps. Okay. And important, precision. So we take off with maximum thrust. After our altitude becomes 1,000 feet, okay, we lower the RPM to around 17,000 or 18,000. When we are at the end of the landing, when we are doing the final landing, we go with around 15,000 or lower thrust. So if we control power this way, you notice how we can control our speed. Again, the best landing speed is 60 knots, 60, 65, because don't forget, in this aircraft, the stall happens at 50. Okay, so this is why land at 65, 70 is better than landing it at 55, again getting the risk of stalling. And stalling is very dangerous. People die when their aircraft stalls. Great, so let's begin and do this circuit pattern flight. So precision, what is the direction of the airport of this runway? 30. So we fly first the 30, and then every time we turn 90 degrees. And a very good climb rate is 1,000 feet per minute. And our direction should be completely aligned with the runway, and it is 300 or 30. So if we look here, you see, if we look down, yeah, there is some wind. We drifted to the right slightly, not a big issue. And once we cross the runway, we fly the crosswind. And when we come to 1,000 feet, we say to the engine, thank you for, it depends on our, so we have two stages of climb. You notice now we are 1,000 feet, and let's start our crosswind. So the crosswind will be 90 degrees exactly from the runway, and this is the, as we mentioned, named crosswind. If you see on the map, so yeah, we are still gaining altitude because I did not reduce the throttle properly. So as we mentioned, we need to lower to around 18,000, or I will do it now 17,000 because we already gained good altitude. I don't want to be above 1,000 feet. So we lower our altitude, and now we control our altitude. And now let's fly the downwind. And is our intention to land? The answer is definitely yes. So we put one, once we now do this complete turn, I will put one flap down. As you notice, because my intention is to land, I'm not worried if my altitude has dropped a little bit. But now immediately once I put the one flap down, as you saw now, the aircraft lift will improve. So you notice now there is one level of flap, which is 10% flaps. You notice how my speed has dropped a lot, and it's now slightly lower than, so I'll increase the throttle slightly because we said we wanted to be around 17,500 the RPM, and I keep my direction as 120. And what is this direction? And I keep my altitude like this, around 700, because as we mentioned, when I finish the base, my altitude I want it to be 500. Normally circuits, if they want to fly them completely, they fly them 1,000 feet. But if your intention is to land, you may start to descend at this stage. Okay. Now if I look to the left, we are flying completely parallel to the airway, to the runway. And we need to continue. And once we see the runway at a 45-degree angle, which is a little bit more, we start to turn left, which will be the base. Okay, I don't want to deviate, of course. I will stay at 12, and I think it is now good time to start the base. 1, 2, 3, enough. Now I can use the left rudder now a little bit to accelerate my turn, as you can see. So this is how normally if you want to turn fast. Okay, I don't want to lose, I don't want to gain altitude, so this is why I don't want my speed to be too much low. 70 knots is very good, 70 to 80. So now I am flying the base, and you can see here to the left the runway. So you see, if I'm controlling my speed and I know what power in terms of throttle I have put, flying and controlling this difficult aircraft in the simulator. So this is one of the difficult aircrafts to control this way. You know. All right. So a little bit more, and then we can turn left. While turning left, I will let the altitude drop a little bit more so that I join the landing, the runway at 500 feet. And pay attention to those lights in the airport. If you can zoom on your device, there are 4 lights. If you see them all white, this means we are too high. If you see them 2 red, 2 white, this is the perfect altitude. So now I see 3 white, 1 red, which means I'm a little bit high, which is fine, because as we said, being slightly higher is better than being lower. And now I reduce the throttle further. 1500 is good, especially now my altitude is slightly, so I put it back. They are all 4 white, now 1 red, which is okay. Now we are perfect. 2 white, 2 red. So you are supposed to land after those lights. This is why you are supposed not to see them while landing. So now 3 red. Now we are perfect. This is very sensitive now because these are based on an angle. Okay, now we do kind of flare where we can remove completely the power. And as we mentioned, the best ultimate touchdown for this aircraft is around 60 knots. And if you do this, yeah. So don't forget, when I do the landing without a mic and recording, it is easier. Great. So I think now this gave you an idea about how to fly a circuit. They call it a circuit pattern. And stay tuned for the next video. What is this in the airport? Flaps up. By the way, we are lucky because in the flight simulator, sometimes they put those which no one understands, but these are like fortune cookies, where they put kind of aircrafts that are like playing. Don't forget, this is not too serious. This is again the purpose of flying a simulation a simulated aircraft is to have fun and enjoy the experience of learning about aviation. Yeah, so we will stop here. I hope you enjoyed this flight. Stay safe. And bye-bye.